I worked as a park ranger at Olympic National Park in Washington State from 2012 to 2016. I was 23 when I started, fresh out of a forestry program at the University of Montana, and I thought I knew what I was getting into. Olympic is massive, nearly 1 million acres of temperate rainforest, alpine terrain, and coastline. In my orientation, they covered the usual: wildlife protocols, search and rescue procedures, visitor safety. But there was one briefing that stuck with me, even before I understood why. They called it the Smiling Man Protocol. The senior ranger who explained it, a woman named Patricia Vance, who'd been with the Park Service for 26 years, was matter-of-fact about it. If we encountered someone alone on a remote trail who appeared to be smiling continuously, not just happy but fixed smiling, we were to radio for backup immediately and maintain visual contact from a safe distance. Never approach alone, never engage directly, never turn your back on them. "Has this actually happened?" I asked. Patricia looked at me the way you look at someone who just asked a stupid question. It's in the protocol manual for a reason. For my first year and a half, I never encountered one. I responded to twisted ankles, lost day hikers, a few cases of hypothermia. I pulled one guy out of the Hoh River after he tried to cross during spring runoff. Normal ranger work. The Smiling Man Protocol became something I filed away mentally with all the other unlikely scenarios we trained for. That changed in October 2013. I was working the backcountry that week, doing trail maintenance and campsite inspections in the Enchanted Valley area. It's a 13-mile hike in from the trailhead at Graves Creek, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides. Beautiful country, but isolated. Cell service is non-existent. Radio contact is spotty because of the terrain. You're on your own out there. It was a Tuesday, mid-afternoon. I was checking the campsites near the Enchanted Valley Chalet, an old stone building from the 1930s that the Park Service maintains. The area was empty, which wasn't unusual for October. Most visitors clear out after Labor Day. I had the valley to myself. That's when I saw him. He was standing about 50 yards away, next to the tree line where the forest meets the valley floor. Just standing there, watching me, and smiling. Not a normal smile. His mouth was stretched wide, showing teeth, but his eyes weren't matching the expression. It was the kind of smile that looked painful, fixed, like someone had told him to smile for a photograph an hour ago and he'd forgotten to stop. He was wearing jeans and a gray hoodie that looked too thin for the weather. It was maybe 45 degrees that day, overcast with rain forecast. No visible pack, no gear, nothing that suggested he'd hiked 13 miles to get there. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "Hey there," I called out. "You doing okay?" He didn't respond, didn't move, just kept smiling at me. I reached for my radio. The protocol was clear. I keyed the mic. "Dispatch, this is Ranger Ferris at Enchanted Valley. I have a situation, requesting backup for a Smiling Man Protocol encounter." Static. Then more static. The mountains were blocking my signal. I tried again. Nothing. The man took a step toward me. I've been trained in de-escalation. I know how to talk to people in crisis, how to assess threats, but something about this felt fundamentally wrong. His movement was off, too smooth, too deliberate, and that smile never wavered. "Sir, I need you to stay where you are," I said. My voice sounded steadier than I felt. He took another step, then another, walking toward me at a slow, measured pace. The smile didn't change. I backed up, trying to maintain distance. My hand moved to the pepper spray on my belt. Park rangers don't carry firearms, and I was suddenly very aware of that fact. "Sir, stop walking. I need to talk to you from where you are." He didn't stop. I've tried to explain this to people since then, and I don't know if I can make them understand. It wasn't just that he was ignoring me. It was that there was no recognition in his eyes at all. Like he was looking at me but not seeing me. Like I was just an object in his path.
I turned and started walking quickly back towards the trail, pulling out my radio to try again as I moved. Still, nothing but static. I was 13 miles from the nearest trailhead, alone, with no way to call for help. When I looked back, he was closer. He hadn't sped up, still that same measured walking pace, but he'd covered more ground than should have been possible. The smile was unchanged. I started jogging. The trail out of Enchanted Valley follows the East Fork Quinault River, winding through old-growth forest. It's not a difficult hike under normal circumstances, but I had a full pack with gear, and I was trying to move fast while looking over my shoulder every 30 seconds. He was always there, always the same distance behind me, never running, never seeming to hurry, but never falling back either. This went on for 2 miles. I tried the radio every 10 minutes. Finally, near the junction with Pony Bridge, I got through. "Dispatch, this is Harris. I'm being followed. Enchanted Valley area, heading towards Braves Creek trailhead. Male subject, approximately 6 feet, gray hoodie, exhibiting protocol behaviors. I need immediate assistance." The dispatcher's voice crackled back. "Copy that, Harris. Backup is being dispatched. Can you reach the trailhead?" "I'm trying. He's maintaining pursuit. This is..." I looked back. He was there, 50 yards behind me on the trail, walking steadily, smiling. "This is an active situation. Do not engage. Maintain distance. Backup is en route." I kept moving. My legs were burning. The pack felt like it weighed twice what it should, and he just kept coming. At the 6-mile mark, I heard voices ahead. 2 day hikers coming towards me on the trail. A couple in their 50s, looked like they were out for an afternoon walk. "You need to turn around right now. There's a dangerous situation behind me." They looked confused. "What kind of... now, please? I'm a park ranger, and I'm ordering you to turn around and head back to the trailhead immediately." Something in my voice must have convinced them. They turned around and started walking quickly ahead of me. I glanced back. The smiling man had stopped. He was standing in the middle of the trail, watching me. When our eyes met, his head tilted slightly to the side. The smile didn't change. Then he stepped off the trail and disappeared into the forest. I didn't see him again. 2 rangers met me at the 4-mile mark. Patricia was one of them. They'd been driving from the Lake Quinault Ranger Station when they got the call. "Did you see which direction he went?" "Into the forest, east side of the trail, near mile 7. They organized a search, brought in additional personnel, checked the area for 3 days. They found nothing. No footprints, no sign anyone had been there, no abandoned vehicle at any trailhead. Nothing. The couple I'd encountered, they were interviewed. They confirmed seeing me in distress, but they said they never saw anyone behind me on the trail." "Could he have been that far back?" the investigating officer asked. "No," I said. "He was maybe 50 yards behind me when I met them. They should have seen him." But they hadn't. I transferred to a different park 6 months later. I told myself it was for a career advancement, but that wasn't true. I couldn't do backcountry patrols anymore. Every time I was alone on a trail, I kept looking over my shoulder. Patricia retired 2 years ago. Before she left, we had a conversation about that day. I asked her how many times she'd encountered a smiling man in her career. She said, 3 times. Got back up all 3 times, never went alone. "What are they?" I asked. She shook her head. "I don't know, but I know they're dangerous. We've had 4 rangers injured over the years in encounters where the protocol wasn't followed, 2 hospitalized. And that's just Olympic. I've heard stories from Glacier, from Yosemite, from the Smokies." "Do the Park Services talk about this?" "Not publicly, but we all know. It's why the protocol exists." "I'm 35 now, and I work for the Forest Service in Montana, mostly administrative work. I haven't been on a backcountry trail in 7 years. People ask me why I left ranger work, and I usually say something about work-life balance. But the real reason is simpler than that. I saw something I can't explain, and I don't ever want to see it again. If you're hiking alone and you encounter someone on a remote trail who's just standing there, smiling to nothing, trust your instincts. Get out. Don't wait to understand why. Don't try to help. Just leave. Some protocols exist for reasons we might never fully understand.